Okay, continuing on with our work with slope-intercept form word problems. This is on side 4.3, word problem practice. And we'll be continuing to work with equations that again are in this format of y equals mx plus b. Let's look at number one. Wade's grandmother gave him $100 for his birthday. Wade wants to save his money to buy a new MP3 player that costs $275. Each month, he adds $25 to his MP3 savings. Write an equation in slope-intercept form for m, the number of months that it will take Wade to save $275. In this equation, just to give you a little preview, notice we are given actually three numbers. You're given the $100 that he was given for his birthday. He is adding $25 each month, and he wants to save $275. So on this one here, with our equation of y equals mx plus b, they have actually, in the word problem, given you three things. They've given you y, the total. They've given you m, what he's doing each month, and b, your starting amount. So you'll have to put in all three numbers. You need to determine which one goes where. At this point, if I'm you, I would pause the video and do this problem. If you haven't grabbed the worksheet yet, please stop the video, grab the worksheet, and bring it back to your desk. Watch the video with this worksheet in front of you, please. Let's look at problem two. That one says car care. Suppose regular gasoline costs $2.76 per gallon. You can purchase a car wash at the gas station for $3. The graph of the equation for the cost of the gasoline and a car wash is shown below. Write the equation in slope-intercept form for the line shown on the graph. There are two ways you can come up with your equation for this problem. The first one is looking just at the words. If you look at the words, you've been given a couple of things. A cost of $2.76 per gallon and a car wash for $3. Y equals mx plus b again. So now you have to determine, if you can from the words, which of those two costs is just always going to stay the same. Doesn't matter what happens, it's always going to be that amount. And which is the other cost that will depend upon how much you get. That one is your slope. The one that never changes, that's your y-intercept. If you can tell it from the words, just pause the video right now and write your equation. The other way is you could actually look at the graph and use the visual of the graph. On the graph, you've been given points. The nice thing about points is then you can build a t-table if you'd like to. You can build the xy t-table. Put the 2 points into the t-table, and then find your slope. Remember, it's change in y over change in x. Slope equals the change in y over change in x. So it's the answer for y over the answer for the change in x. After you find that, the nice thing about having the graph is, look at that. There's my y-intercept right there. It's on the y-axis. You have to figure out what number to use there. So again, at this point, if you had trouble with the words part, wanted to use the graph, find the slope building the t-table, change in y over change in x. Look at my graph. I'm going to find my y-intercept, and I'm going to use that for b. So again, I would pause the video here, finish this problem off on the sheet, restart the video after you finish working on number two. Problem 3. Adult education. Angie's mother wants to take some adult education classes at a local high school. She has a one-time enrollment fee of $25. This phrasing right there, one-time enrollment fee, that's the key to tell you where this $25 will go in the equation. So I'll start over. Angie's mother wants to take some adult education classes at a local high school. She has to pay a one-time enrollment fee of $25 to join the adult education community, and then $45 for each class she wants to take. The equation y equals 45x plus 25 expresses the cost of taking the classes. What are the slope and y-intercept of the equation? So your answer here, you're just going to say slope equals, and then you want to tell me what the y-intercept is. And I won't tell you any further. I kind of gave you a hint as I was talking through there. So y slope, what are the y-intercept? That's all you have to tell, looking just at that equation right there. I would pause the video, Answer question 3. When you're ready, let's move to question 4. Question 4. A construction crew needs to rent a trench digger for up to a week. An equipment rental company charges $40 per day plus, keyword there, a $20 non-refundable insurance cost. $20 non-refundable insurance cost to rent a trench digger. Write and graph an equation to find the total cost to rent the trench digger for D days. So you have two things to do. The first thing is you need to write an equation in y equals mx plus b form. That's first. Second, you need to make a graph. Unfortunately, I didn't catch that they hadn't put a graph in here for you. So you will need to get a piece of graph paper and you'll need to build that graph on graph paper, staple it to the worksheet. So when you turn it in, we have both the graph and the equation together. Now keep in mind as you make your graph, B, whatever number you chose out of the word problem for B, that's where you're going to start in your graph. Also take a look. When you start to build your y-axis here, you'll have an x-axis, and then you have your x-axis over here, you have your y-axis here. You need to take a look. B is where you will start here putting on the y-axis. You have to look at the numbers and determine how much do I want the numbers to count by. Do I want to count and say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25? Do I want to count by tens? 10, 20, 30, 40, and so on. Now over here on the x-axis, it says write and graph an equation to find the total cost to rent the trench digger for D days. Okay, so just to tell you this, days will be on the x-axis. You need to determine then what goes on the y-axis. Right, days on the x, y is the cost, or the rent that they have to pay. So you have money over here. Note often that when you do slope-intercept graphs, the time that you're dealing with, whether it's days, weeks, hours, months, minutes, most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, ends up on the x-axis. And a lot of times these have money problems, the money or the other part of the word problem ends up on the y-axis. So again, you'll need to take a sheet of graph paper and graph that equation on a sheet of graph paper. We will not be doing problems 5, 6, and 7 on this sheet. That's why there's an extra room. You will not need to do them. All right, so finish up. As soon as you get done, feel free to turn that sheet in. If you have any questions, please come and see me. Thank you.